The Detroit Lions' playoff hopes took a massive hit Sunday night, and while they are not mathematically eliminated, the reality is becoming increasingly difficult to ignore. A 29-24 loss to the Pittsburgh Steelers dropped Detroit to 8-7 and pushed what once looked like a promising season closer to disappointment. For a franchise that reached the NFC Championship game 2 seasons ago and followed it up with a 15-2 campaign last year, this loss felt symbolic. It wasn't just another defeat. It was a reminder that the consistency and edge that once defined this team are slipping away at the worst possible time. Detroit struggled for most of the night against a Steelers defense that was missing key pieces. Pittsburgh played without star pass rusher TJ Watt and edge defender Nick Herbig, yet still managed to control the game for long stretches. The Lions' offense sputtered early, failed to sustain drives, and couldn't establish the run at any point in the first half. While Jared Goff moved the ball through the air at times, the lack of balance left Detroit vulnerable to Pittsburgh's time of possession dominance. The first half told much of the story. The game was tied 10-10 at the break, but the way Pittsburgh reached that score was demoralizing. On what should have been a routine defensive pass interference late in the second quarter, Kenneth Gainwell somehow secured the ball while lying on the ground, untouched, then got up and ran into the end zone with just 2 seconds remaining. That single play accounted for most of Pittsburgh's offensive production in the half, and yet Detroit had nothing to show for it. The third quarter was a disaster for the Lions. Pittsburgh's offense wasn't explosive, but it was methodical and relentless. The Steelers ran 25 plays to Detroit's 3 in the period, holding the ball for all but 51 seconds. A sack in the end zone resulted in a safety, followed by a field goal that gave Pittsburgh a 15-10 lead. Detroit couldn't find rhythm, momentum, or any answer to Pittsburgh's ball control approach. Things unraveled further early in the fourth quarter when Jaylen Warren broke free for a 45-yard touchdown, pushing the Steelers' lead to 22-10. At that point, Detroit's season seemed on the brink. The Lions' defense, already battered by injuries, simply couldn't get off the field or stop explosive plays when it mattered most. To their credit, the Lions didn't quit. Facing 4th and 2 with under 9 minutes remaining, Goff delivered a perfect strike to Calif Raymond for a 27-yard touchdown, injecting life back into the stadium. But hope was short-lived. Warren answered almost immediately with another 45-yard touchdown run, again exposing Detroit's defensive weaknesses and extending the lead to 29-17. Still, the Lions had one last chance. A late drive stalled for Pittsburgh, and Chris Boswell missed a 37-yard field goal after clanging it off the right upright. That miss gave Detroit the ball down 5 with just over 2 minutes remaining and everything on the line. A defensive pass interference call on Pittsburgh extended the drive. A tripping penalty added 15 more yards. Amon-Ra St. ripped off a 24-yard gain to move the Lions inside the red zone. Then came the moment that will be debated all season. St. Brown appeared to score a game-winning touchdown, only for it to be wiped out by an offensive pass interference call on rookie Isaac Tesla. On the play, St. Brown made contact with cornerback Jalen Ramsey, extending his arm slightly before coming back to the ball. Officials ruled it interference. Lions fans disagreed. The stadium erupted in frustration. On the final play, St. Brown caught a pass near the goal line and lateraled to Goff for what looked like a miraculous touchdown. But once again, the score didn't count. The earlier penalty had already ended the drive, and the game was over. Afterward, Goff didn't hide his disappointment. The one where Amon caught it and we thought was a touchdown, in my opinion, that's a bad call, what Goff said. But those happen. Officials have a tough job. Isaac shouldn't hang his head about it. The loss leaves Detroit in a precarious position. At 8-7, the Lions now need to win out against the Minnesota Vikings and Chicago Bears while also getting significant help around the NFC. Based on how inconsistent they've been all season, especially on defense, it's hard to argue they deserve a playoff spot. Meanwhile, the Steelers deserve credit. Despite missing key defenders, they executed a clear game plan, controlled the clock, and got explosive contributions from Jaylen Warren and Kenneth Gainwell when it mattered most. The win keeps Pittsburgh atop the AFC North and strengthens their postseason positioning. For Detroit, the bigger picture is troubling. This was a team with Super Bowl aspirations entering the season. Instead, they are now fighting just to stay alive. The defense has regressed, injuries have piled up, and close games continue to slip away. The Lions are not eliminated yet, but after Sunday night, they are closer to the edge than they've been in years.